to the site of the crash.
Pro-Palestinian protesters continually declared U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken a war criminal as he testified during separate Senate hearings.
Blinken testified before the Senate Committee on Appropriations.
Technologies such as artificial intelligence and electric vehicles have increased demand on America's power grid.
The demand is so much that members of the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources said Tuesday that the grid will need to rely on fossil fuel longer than expected.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and 10 co-defendants pleaded not guilty Tuesday to 9 felony charges, accusing them of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election results in Arizona.
Giuliani remotely entered his plea during the arraignment hearing in Maricopa County Superior Court.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee, and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Oh, well. Good morning, America, Canada, any English-speaking people out there. And, oh, look, the phone is ringing. I'm not going to answer it. Anyway, good morning. It is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. I had to think about what year it is. I am frazzled, a little bit frazzled. Not a fun morning for me so far, but hopefully that will turn around pretty quickly. Let me just explain a little bit. I decided, you know what, I'm going to slack it a little bit today, sleep a little bit late, and then come in here and do my thing. My thing. This is my thing. And so I didn't leave myself much time to get set up for this, about a half hour. First thing I did turning on a computer was see my email. I got an alert from my bank that an enormous amount of money had been taken out of my bank account. And so I'm like, this is a mistake. It's either fraud or something's wrong here. And, of course, I call the bank, and I get somebody who doesn't speak very clear English. It's Southwest Pacific, Southeast Pacific dialect of English. You know what I'm talking about. People who are outsourced to be customer service who don't speak very well. I don't want to be too racist. I'm already racist enough this morning. But answering questions and going on with numbers, taking down PIN numbers I can't understand, just yelling at them. Ended up losing it a little bit with the young lady, dropping a few F-bombs on her. But it's not her fault that the bank refuses to hire people to serve people that sound like the people in the area that they're serving. In other words, me. And I'm not the only one that has to deal with this stuff. But when you're my age and you already have tinnitus so bad that hearing is is a challenge to begin with, the last thing you want when you're in a rush and trying to resolve something before a pending payment of thousands and thousands of dollars goes through that erroneously, you want to be able to talk to somebody who understands you and you understand them pretty quickly. That did not happen. And so I'm frazzled now, going back and forth with the people who are responsible for me doing got to cancel debit cards and checking accounts and all that stuff and start again, wait for a new card. Not a happy camper this morning. So get me happy. Make me, give me something not to be pissed off about. And I tell you that isn't Ted Cruz or any other fucking cult member, bullshit artist, Republican going on media and why the media lets them get away with it. And just bullshit to save the cult leader. It's just to the point where my anger level with these people is just off the charts. And what last night on Twitter, some people, these media people, CNN, basically anybody who's interviewing people, they're on there and they're talking to people like Ted Cruz, and they're bullshitting him. And I just asked a simple question: I just want to find where what I said is, because this I want to say it again, but I want to say it out loud here. Well, Jesus Christ, where the hell is stuff? See, this is the kind of morning I'm having. Oh yeah. I said, why can't one person look any one of them in the eye and say, "Don't bullshit me, you goddamn lying punk ass bitch"? That's what I want to happen. I want somebody to look at Ted Cruz in the eye and say, "Don't bullshit me, you goddamn lying punk ass bitch," and leave it at that. Because he's gonna lie. Now the question on the table was, would you support the results of the election? You plan on accepting the results of the election? Well, that's a ridiculous question. It's a yes or no fucking question. Will you support the results of the election? Don't fucking bullshit me, you goddamn lying ass punk ass bitch. I'm sorry. My bank account got me a little bit fired up. But seriously, why even interview these fucking people? If you know they're going to fucking play this dance around the question, not answer the question bullshit, you know you're going to get that from them. Why bother? And why bother showing me that if for no other reason than to just piss me off? Don't show me that. Don't do your job. Get a fucking pair and reach across the table and choke the life out of these motherfuckers. There comes a point where you just can't accept being bullshitted to anymore. And I passed that point long ago. Anyway, appears that our friend Ron is still in deep mourning over his pet. And I say that, I know it sounds like I'm being trite about it, or I know people. I know what it's like to lose a pet. It's just one comment I'm going to make on this, and it is kind of, I don't know. I need to get that, and I've said it before. My son passed away about 8 months ago, and somebody who knows me called me and said, "I know exactly what you're going through. My cat died 18 years ago." All right, let me put this in perspective. My son died that day. And I get a call saying, "I know exactly what you're going through. My cat died 18 years ago." I don't think, listen, and this is the point I'm making about people's attachments to pets. I don't think a cat dying can ever let you experience the feeling of a child dying. But especially when it happened 18 years ago, and this wound is hours, not even hours old, like an hour old. I didn't scold her. I was like, "Are you serious?" I didn't do any of that. In the back of my mind, I was like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? Your cat died 18 years ago, and you know what I'm going through." But it's real for her. It was real for her. And so our hearts go out to Ron, who had to put his dog down yesterday, and that's a terrible thing to go through. And so we hope he heals his heart over that. Anyway, I'm gonna play some ketamine commercial and then come back, and we'll GD and Stephen will be here in one moment.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Me down off the ledge. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, sirs.
That's better.
Good morning, America.
It is.
MindDogTV.com. Celebrate Memorial Day. Bring out your dead meat and throw it on the grill. Come to Mind Dog TV for all of your cookout needs, except grills, charcoal, propane, liquor, and first aid. But we do have lots of shit. So come buy our shit. Come buy our shit. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering.
We don't have enough shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, morning to you.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude. Good morning.
Hey, listen,
yeah, so
Matt?
I had a guy on last night, and I asked him if weed was legal in North Carolina where he is, and he gave me a kind of, sort of. I was like, I don't know. I don't think things can be kind of, sort of legal or not. It's either legal or it's not. You can't go. You can't be charged with a kind of, sort of crime, and you certainly can't use it's kind of, sort of legal in front of a judge as my. I never got a straight answer on that. I don't think it's legal in North Carolina. I think what he's doing is getting Delta or some other kind of synthetic THC or something that they haven't caught up with yet to outlaw. But it was a weird one of those questions you're not prepared for that answer. Sort of. Is it legal there?
It's kind of sort of legal here, kind of.
That's not an answer, though.
It's decriminalized.
Decriminalized, but that's not legal. I mean, so
right.
But basically the question is, can you go buy it in a store?
Yeah,
can you go down?
Not here.
No.
You can if you go in the bathroom of that store.
No, it's behind the store. Behind the store.
So, if you recall last Friday, I don't even know if you were both here Friday. One of you or both of you might not have been here. I don't know.
We were here.
Okay.
I was here.
I was talking about going to the reservation, the phony reservation to buy weed.
Right.
And so I went back down there yesterday. I had business in the area. So I said, yeah, I'm going back to the reservation. I was going back to this because there's a ton of these. It's 2 blocks long, and there were houses right next to each other. And I want to go back to the one I went to last week because I signed up for discount points. The more you spend, the more you save, that kind of thing.
Damn, you're going to be getting free pretty soon then.
I know,
hopefully. I couldn't find the place. I drive up.
Oh.
It's only a 2-block thing. I'm up and down. I'm like, where the fuck is this place?
A pop-up weed house on a reservation. A pop-up weed house on a reservation.
Well, here's the thing. I did notice there was new construction. I was like, could that be where it was? And there's a sign that says temporarily closed. Go to that one over there. So I went in that one over there. And I said, was that native land last week? She said, yeah, they tore the fucking building down, cleared it out, and have almost built a whole new structure, a whole new place, almost complete, from last Thursday to yesterday. So we got 6 days in there, and three out of those days it was cold and rainy. They tore a building down, cleaned out the foundation, and all put a new foundation, a new building in 6 days.
It sounds like that we should be hiring Indians and not Mexicans to do our work. That's what it sounds
Sounds like the
sorry to
Amish need to also
disappoint
do
you.
some recruiting.
They're not Indians. They're black people.
No, they're Indians. They have to be because we know black people are lazy, so they have to be Indians.
No, we don't know all black people are lazy. We don't know that.
Don't you bait us into that trap, GD? Stop it.
Yeah, we don't know that. But I'll tell you one thing. You're right. We should be hiring whoever it is in charge of that construction, because they're going to be back up in business by tomorrow. They plan on being. That's like insane to tear down a building, its foundation, clear it out all in that much time would be a really good job. But to have the other building back up and almost ready to go back to business.
Now, the obvious question then is: Did your points transfer over to the new building?
No, I had to get new points in the new place. But so that's no big deal. But my obvious question was, because when I was there last Thursday, that place was like the Fort Dix of weed. I mean, there had to be, if I'm guessing, probably hundreds and hundreds of pounds of really high quality weed. I mean, and taking that stuff, just getting the weed out of the fucking place that quickly. Yeah, some of it had to go missing somehow.
I was going to say maybe they didn't get the weed out there. That's how they got the building down. They didn't mean they had the building torn down. They just said free weed, and before they even finished saying free weed to people who spend $100 or more, before we got the whole sentence out, they're saying free weed, and the building was like gone.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think the other businesses that are all in heavy competition down there. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to one of the border towns in Mexico where the competition is so strict, so aggressive. If you go down there, there's one guy selling moccasins for $5. Somebody calls, moccasins $4. You turn around and there's a moccasins for $3, guys. That's what it's like down there. It's that cutthroat. I mean, they're all over the place. They're running out of the store to try to grab you out of your car to go into their shop.
Yeah, I hate that.
Sounds like competition is savage.
Yeah.
That's a Wounded Knee joke. No.
I got him.
Yeah. I was going to say hate mail sitcom at info or minddogtv.com, whatever.
Send it.
Yeah, send it. That was my thing yesterday with and the guy's name was Creatio, which No,
that's the person that was on last night.
The guy who was on last night,
yeah. Because I saw that, and I thought you left off the end. I
did too.
I wish I had left off the end.
Oh no!
See now, starting off and asking about a name for a musician, like their stage name. That is the goofiest Tom Snyder type. And Tom Snyder was a guy who came on after Johnny Carson 100 years ago. Old man who would interview like cool rock stars like Sex Pistols and John Lennon and stuff, but he was an old goofy bastard like me, and he would ask Meatloaf about his name, and then Meatloaf obviously like, oh come on, you're gonna ask me about my name? What kind of goofy old man question is that? So I'm gonna start off with this guy with Creatio, because Creatio is all over my email. Because there's a bunch of nerds, geeks, whatever you call them, coder guys who come out with marketing products all the time under the banner of Creatio, and Steve Wozniak, the guy who was instrumental in building Apple computers. He's in that. He's a genius. He's one of these technical geniuses. But so I had to ask. So I start with that question. But the way I softened my dickiness was to say, I know this is a dicky, doofy old man question, but I have to ask it. Like, what's with the name? And do you realize that there are marketing geeks and nerds that are co-opting this? And So he gave me a long answer about how he just wanted to come up with something and was Googling domain names and stuff, and every other one that he wanted was taken, so he settled on that. But you know what?
He based his stage name on what was available
On domain names that were available.
Domain names.
Yes. On what's left, because there were squatters on whatever he wanted. Or wanted like.
Did he check .org and .net and .com, or he was just because he could have gotten other names?
Yeah. No, the guy and the guy's music is really good, really good. And I was impressed with him. One of the things that he has a song "Going Nowhere," and a video for it.
You mean ratings wise, or that's the name of it?
That's the name of it.
Okay, when you say it's
but
a song
it's about ratings wise too, and it's also about feeling like your career is, and you're being on the road and you never know where you're going, and it just feels like what's this all about? It's an artist, a road dog type of song. It's done in a bus. That's an abandoned bus in a field that's got graffiti all over it. It feels like a New York City subway car that you would feel like you were going to nowhere on it. So I thought, wow, this is a really interesting piece of art. And he told me the story behind it, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know. They were out shooting this thing. He had this guy who was shooting a video for him, and they did it did one part of it in the studio, and then they were going to go on location. Spent the whole day on location, and the guy ate a bunch of gummies, too many gummies, and got too stoned, and things weren't working out, and it was starting to rain, and they were getting like, oh, I guess we're going to wrap it up. And the guy said, I have one more location. There's this old abandoned bus. Let's see if we can get something going over there. They went there, and right on the bus, it says "Going Nowhere" right on the bus, which is the name of his song. I thought, what are the odds on that? That's a cool thing. I thought so.
See, I'm not impressed because when you said he had a song that was going nowhere. I said I'm not impressed. I have like a whole fucking CD.
I have a whole career that's going nowhere.
Yeah, it's going nowhere. Yeah, if they just have a song that's going nowhere, it's like boo fucking who.
Yeah. No, the song is titled "Going Nowhere." It's really good stuff. I like it. Anyway, creatioband.com. Check them out. Today we're going to have Chris Monty on. Chris Monty is a comedian friend I've known for about 6 years. Been on the program many times before. He'll be on again in July. The reason I wanted him on today, he's playing the Argyle Theater. I think it's Sunday. The Argyle Theater here in Babylon. Now, it's a Memorial Day weekend, and theater shows kind of weird. So I want to help him kind of maximize. I might even already be sold out. I don't know about that. But the idea of us the Sunday afternoon of Memorial Day to be doing a theater show just seems a little.
After I've had one bad experience I was talked into doing a comedy show on Memorial Day weekend, not during the weekend. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, sure. And oh God, it was like, how many people? This place holds how many people? Great, that's okay. And how many people showed up? Ooh, oh, yeah. Can we get some? Can we do like an Oscars thing and get some fillers in here? Can we hire some fillers?
Dude, I feel you, man. We have a show Saturday coming up, and they were having a hard time filling it up at first.
Well, Indiana, there's nothing else to do.
Hey, that's not true. Okay, we like to go drink and watch the Amish. Okay,
there's nothing else to do. I mean, you go to see a comedy show because what else are you going to do? Watch the corn grow? Oh, look at that!
You're thinking Iowa
we watch
now.
The Amish build barns in a day.
I think. Well, isn't it all corn? Isn't it all corn between Indiana and Iowa and like Nebraska? And isn't it all just corn?
It is. The drive from here to the other side of Nebraska is a drive that will make you want to shoot yourself. It's flat.
I actually like
horrible. Corn. It's not. Man, I hate corn. I don't hate corn.
I could see how
like
you would.
A lot, but I don't. It's not my favorite food for sure.
Yeah. Yes, but doing that theater show, on Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to be out playing on the beach. I have a Memorial Day show today for vets at the VA right after this. So Memorial Day starts now, or in 2 hours for me. And you know, I'm stressed enough. There's not any stress in this because most of the people I'm playing for died. They died in World War II. They're just still sitting there. So most, and a couple of them died in Vietnam, and they're still sitting there. But I mean, that's the kind of show I'm going to be playing today. It's like, I know they don't even know what I'm doing. They just know there's somebody up there making noise, or they see something, they kind of hear something.
So do you have like a musical? Do you play taps but write your own words to it?
Yeah.
You know, I thought he was going to do some Grateful Dead covers.
Yeah, write your own lyrics to taps just for that show.
I would, except there's a guy, the rec director there, who wants to give me requests of songs that he likes. It's like, you know what? I can't in good conscience play like Metallica for people who would not. These all.
You can do an unplugged version of Metallica.
Yeah, do some like acoustic covers.
They want to hear music from their generation. If there's one of them that can still hear or see, I want to give them something they can relate to, and they can't relate. Yeah, the guy likes it, the rec director, because he's like 40 years old or something. But the people are listen, this is the place I'm playing today. Is the place I played the guy to death that time, where he was the only guy there. He was in a coma. And I actually watched him die. I actually watched him go to the light, and I was doing a show for one person. And
you guys doing that bad?
But when he was done, did you say? When you were done, did you say "ta-da"?
Sort of. I was crying. Here's the deal. I told the story again so many times. I can rush through it. Basically, there was supposed to be 50 people there. I got there. There's one guy in a wheelchair, and he's out. He's in a coma. And I said to the nurse, I said, you know, where is everybody? She put out an announcement. There's a show starting in the rec room. Anybody want to go? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody came down. And I said, you know, he doesn't seem old. She said, no, he hasn't opened his eyes or been awake for like 2 months. He's been in his. So I'm doing songs for him. And I'm supposed to do an hour show, 45 minutes. I'm doing songs. I'm dancing in front of him. I'm doing Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog. Dancing around them, and the nurses are all laughing their asses off at me for being just a goofy bastard. Because now I'm like, well, I'm hamming it up more than I ever have in my life. I'm doing Chuck Berry and I'm skidding across the floor. And finally, I said, this is ridiculous. I called the agent who booked it. I said, this guy's already dead. Played 45 minutes for him. Can I go home? He said, play one more song and then get out of there. Like, all right. So for some reason, I decided to play a song that I wrote called Sweet Forgiveness. And the song, the hook of it is, I got a friend in Jesus. I know he died for me, but I pray that he'll forgive me for the times I don't believe. And I got to that line, and I got a friend in Jesus. The guy opened his eyes, looked at the light in the ceiling, reached for the light, mumbled, I couldn't hear what he said, closed his eyes, and was gone.
I think he said minddogtv.com.
He did. Enjoy the suffering. So I went out to the nurse. I said, I think he's gone. She said, no, what do you mean? I said, I think he's gone. She went in. She took his pulse, and she said, yeah, he's gone. And
You killed him. You killed Kenny. You bastard.
I hope his name was Tony.
Did you play Stairway to Heaven?
So I wonder what he said, but he looked at the light in the ceiling. So he actually opened his eyes and went to the light. It wasn't a Jesus light. It was a fluorescent light in the fixture in the ceiling. But nonetheless,
what if he mumbled just like, "God, take me now. I can't take this anymore," and it's just gone.
This song sucks. That's what he mumbled. This song sucks.
He just looked at the light and went, "Yee, no, GTE." No, Tommy.
All right, yeah. It was an emotional moment for me. You guys want to make fun of it and make me feel bad about it, guys?
Oh, you think we're making fun of you? Wait till Ron gets back. No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah. Now Ron says he's got a guest for tomorrow.
Put him down like that. That's mean.
Yeah.
We're not putting Ron down. Not
Don't
like he
put him
just put
down.
his dog down. We're not putting Ron down.
Listen, if I'm not going to go there. Whatever. Did you talk to Ron? Did you call him and console
I
him?
sent him a text.
I didn't know about this, but I will message him.
I need Ron's phone number. I don't have his phone number. The only
I give it. Wait a minute. Stay on. Hold on a second. I'll tell it to you.
Yeah, give it to me online so that everybody can call him.
No, I was just going to give it to you now, so you can just call him.
No, just text me it, please.
Anyway,
he says he has another guest for us tomorrow. We already had one guest, and I was thinking one was enough for tomorrow, but he's got a guest who's performing, he says, at Gov's Saturday night. I think he meant McGuire. I think he's talking about D.C. Benny. That's my guess. I'm going to guess that he's going with D.C. Benny, who's headlining McGuire's, which is a Governor's Club, but not Governor's tomorrow night. It's actually out here by me. If I weren't elsewhere occupied, I would be going to that show. Well, thank you for somebody who Stephen just texted me, so you don't have to text me it.
No, I wasn't going to text you. I was just going to tell you. It's 212-540-7546.
No, it's not. It's the man.
Oh my God!
He's here now. What was I going to say? It's 95. What it was? It's 1-900. Ron Tuggs. 1-900 Ron Tuggs.
Ron, how are you, buddy?
He asked us for your phone number. We were just giving it to him.
Yeah. 1-900 Ron Tuggs. Good morning, Ron. I hope you're recovered well from your trauma yesterday.
Yeah, doing better. Yesterday is definitely the worst day, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little better today, and my wife's feeling a little better.
Now, is he cremated or did you?
Yeah.
So did you mix some of the ashes with your dad?
No.
So you can keep your two best friends together?
No.
You don't mix family cocktails together like that, GD. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you save space.
And I gotta wait like 2 weeks to get them. Then we're gonna go spread her ashes at like her favorite creek that she used to play in. So.
Well, I told the story in the monologue here about when my son died. Within an hour of me finding out he died, this woman, I'm not going to say her name, she called me up and said, "I know exactly what you're going through. My cat died 18 years ago."
I heard that and I was just like, "What the fuck? That's who." What?
I say that it's because I could laugh at it. Most people could not laugh at that. That would be like something too painful to share. But
what Matt didn't say is that what he told the lady was, "Look, I just put my son down. Why are you telling me about your damn cat?"
I put him down. No. But the point I was making awkwardly in that is that pets are really important parts of the family, and it is a real loss to a lot of people. Not necessarily on that level, but and like an hour in as opposed to 18 years, so to have some time to process it. If you're still feeling what I'm feeling about my son 18 years after your cat died, I think you need therapy, something.
Yeah.
18 years.
I had a cat die in 2018 on Christmas Eve.
So you went to a Chinese restaurant then?
Close. So the cat dies. Like all night is crying in the kitchen. I'm holding it. It finally dies. I call my sister-in-law and my brother to come get the cat and bury it. And they're super quiet, quieter than usual, right? So we go over there for Christmas morning, like 5 hours later, and the reason they felt bad was they had a bunch of presents for the cat too. My daughter just spent the whole Christmas crying.
Wow.
It's terrible.
So they were upset. They were upset because they couldn't get their money back. What? Why were they upset?
That's
See, the
why
thing
I
with
was
cats
laughing,
is you can always. I didn't say Siri. Shut up. Get off. Turn off. The thing with cats is that there's. You need to unlock your iPhone first. I told you. You can always get a replacement cat. This is my thing because this thing about cats have 9 lives because there are only like so many variations of cat. and we experience this all the time with the ferals. When the white one with the black spots dies, another white one with black spots that looks exactly like it, that has the same personality, comes along, and that's where the myth "cats have 9 lives" come from, because there are all and the personalities of the cat matches the way they look, their fur and all that stuff. It's the exact same cat, just like rejuvenated, reborn, whatever it is, reincarnated. So
that's not
cats,
exactly where that comes from. It's just that's
no, that's my theory on where it
oh
comes from.
okay, yeah, because then I don't have to give you the real one then. Okay,
No,
never
no,
mind.
because I don't believe the real one. I believe mine.
Okay.
I believe that's where it comes from. People just, that's the same fucking cat. It's back. He's alive again. I saw him dead yesterday, but here he is alive again. That's what happens.
Okay.
So my point is, you can always get a replacement cat. Not so much, dogs are not like that. Dogs are
No.
Yeah, the weirdest thing is just like when we were just hanging out at home last night. The weird thing is just how quiet it is now, and you really forget how much noise like the dog just being there made from like her breathing and just just a little
The
thing.
nails on the floor.
Yeah, it's just little things like that. It's like, oh, that's it's a little different, but at the same time, it's sad. But she just got to the point, like when she woke up yesterday, she couldn't walk. It just hit her, and she couldn't stand properly. And it's like that's no life for any animal or person to live.
Thanks.
Yeah, so
John,
we
I
should put
appreciate
Steven
that.
down.
Yeah.
Is what,
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. That is an awful thing for me.
So-
I know just how you feel, because my cat was in a wheelchair 18 years ago. He was sitting on your lap.
So, Ron, did you still do you feel the urge to get up and go out, like, because when people have dogs as opposed to cats, you have to take them out to pee and poop and stuff, and it's almost like a regular thing, like it's 6 o'clock, let's
No wonder
go.
my house smells like shit. I'm supposed to take the dog out?
I'm sorry, never mind. I didn't mean to touch on that issue. But yes, Matt.
Dang it.
You either take them out or change the carpet every once a year.
I thought it was just muddy in here. Yeah. So anyway,
everywhere.
I hope this bullshit chatter helps in some way, Ron. Anyway,
Ron, I told him I know what's going to happen for the next three months. I'm going to be listening to you tell dog jokes now.
Dog jokes.
While you work it out of your system.
That's a good way to do it. You know what? That's what art is for. It's for helping us get through the suffering, enjoying the suffering. Now, you wrote to me about a comic who might be on tomorrow. Is it DC Benny?
No, it is not DC Benny.
Oh, because I figured you know that area, DC, Philly, all that kind of stuff. He's headlining McGuire's, which is the governor's thing tomorrow. Is this guy definitely on tomorrow?
I don't know yet. All
right, so don't tell me until we know.
Yeah.
Wait till he doesn't show up to tell us he's supposed to be here.
All right, let me talk to you about that, because yesterday I was a no-show on a podcast.
I saw that.
Is that karma? I honestly, if I have to tell the absolute truth, I forgot about it. And I could have put it on my calendar like when it was scheduled last week, and I said, no, I'll remember.
You talked about it all day yesterday. And then even it's before the show, you said, I got to get out of here so I can go do a podcast. You said it during the show.
I
and
did?
You forgot that fast?
Well, it was much later. It was 4 o'clock that day. That was a Zoom call. I had a Zoom call I had to get on for. That was the Hulu guy. That's a whole other story. I'll talk to you about that. But no, this was the Found Dead podcast. Christine Levine, comedian, she was on that show. What the hell was the name of Portlandia? She was on that show. She's a comedian. She's part of the Stanhope world of comedy in Arizona.
Oh, you'll never get Stanhope on your show now. Again.
I've had Stanhope so many times, and
I don't
want. I wouldn't have anything left to talk to Doug Stanhope about it. So we're fine saying goodbye. With that. But she had stood me up a couple of times being on the program too. She'd been on twice, but she had been a no-show a couple of times before. She's got a podcast called Found Dead. It's about because she used to work in a sex shop, and she found a guy dead in a dumpster outside, a dead body outside. So she's got this podcast about people who find dead bodies, and I happen to have stories about that kind of stuff, finding dead bodies. But and I was scheduled last year to be on, and something happened. I didn't make the cut, and then they called me last week to say, "Can I be on yesterday?" Oh yeah, sure. And then I was a no-show. I felt terrible about it for hours. Like I don't think the people that no-show on me feel the kind of remorse that I felt over it, because I just wanted to, but they rescheduled anyway. So, but yeah, I did feel really, really bummed out about me letting her down and not showing up about that. But in a way, I feel like the universe was, she's fatter in person. No, it's not anymore. Not anymore. She used to be very heavy. She's not. She had cancer. She had, I don't know, some kind of stomach cancer or something. But she's thinned down a lot. That'll do it. That's a great diet. The stomach cancer diet. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Cancer and AIDS are a good way to lose weight like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy for Hulu wants me to edit commercials for Hulu for the comedy stuff that they're going to be doing, and reels for the Hulu stuff. But I don't think it's going to work out because
they're not funny.
No, he and I are oil and water exaggerated. I mean, I don't like people talking down to me. And this guy was doing it in an interview, like on a Zoom call. Basically said, here's the question, and it rubs me the wrong way, and I think it will probably irritate you too, GD.
If he doesn't use lotion, it will irritate you.
Can you make commercials out of podcast footage? I said, yeah, I do it all the time. You basically edit the stuff up. You can make a commercial out of anything. Let me ask you again. Can you make a commercial out of podcast footage? I was like, I heard you the first time, and I answered you the right way the first time. Well, let me clarify. It's like, fuck you, man. You're not going to fucking play this, I'm an idiot and don't understand the question. You're asking a stupid question. That's all it comes down to. If you don't understand that, yes, you can make a commercial out of shit and oxygen.
Anything, yeah. All you got to do is watch TV or listen to the radio. You can make a commercial out of anything.
So it was and I was a little bit snippy with him. So I'm not sure we're going to be moving ahead with it. I thought it would be a good opportunity if I could get a foot in the door with this comedy thing at Hulu to get some opportunity to showcase some people and actually go out and film some of my friends doing comedy and then say, look, we need more content. I got comedians up the wazoo. You can check my wazoo. But I don't think it's going to work out.
Just don't check the rug because not everything stays in the wazoo. It's not good.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like what goes in the wazoo stays in the wazoo.
There's one in the barrel. There's always one in the chamber. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out. It would have been good though. It would have been, and it's not definitely that. He gave me an assignment. He said, I don't want to give you an assignment without pay. You just bill me for the time. I want you to do. He gave me some material to work with, and I'll make me a commercial. And if he's happy with my work, then he'll want to hire me for that.
But you'll get paid anyway because you get to bill him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
do it. Bill him.
I get you're absolutely right. I should do that, but the part of me that just can't get over the condescension. Let me ask
something.
You.
Everybody's going to be condescending to someone at some time. If there's money involved, you can get over it.
Don't you talk down to me?
Yeah, and he works for Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is a little bit of a dick. That is a way for sure.
Is that on the application? Are you a dick? If you have to check the yes.
Yeah, Ron just applied at Hulu, and he saw the requirements. You do have to be a dick.
But at the same time, I think he's doing that too to see if you actually follow through with it, because it's one thing to get at least to there, then people will think, well, I should be doing this, or this should be. I think that person is doing that to see if it'll throw you off.
Well, yeah. One of because that conversation did go on, and he was asking me if somebody has a camera, it's not streaming like this, and they're doing a podcast. How would I go about making a commercial from that footage? I said, well, without actually being there. I said, well, if somebody doesn't know how to operate the camera, I can't help them. But generally, I've done this before. I worked for a company that was doing that. We would buy the cameras for them, set them up, teach them how to turn them on and focus them and hit record. And then all they'd have to do is take the card out and dump the files up to Dropbox or WeTransfer or whatever, get us the files. In that way, he couldn't seem to wrap his brain around that. And I was trying to explain to him, how easy that is. He was having a real tough time with that. And I was like, are you sure you work for Hulu? You're a media guy? Because what happened? I just added you to the stage, and then I got to take this one out of the stage. And you totally screwed things up, Steven.
I don't know how, but I was sitting there listening, and then it just said something went wrong. It could be us or your internet. And I was like, thanks, StreamYard.
That's the algorithm. That's the algorithm.
Yep. You pissed off somebody.
Yeah, no, the guy's seen my work, and he contacted me. He found my resume and then asked for samples of my work. I sent him samples of my work. He was impressed enough to have that conversation yet, so he knows what I could do. He's looking for a cheap commercial. That's what I thought. Like he is
probably, yeah,
because he knows the first one I bill him for, it's gonna be a one-off. But
so
you know what?
Do you get to pick them? No, he sent you the samples, right?
Yeah. It's for the podcast, not podcast, the special that it's not Jim Gaffigan, by the way. I would be good. I was hoping it would have been Jim Gaffigan comedy stuff that I got to do reels for like to boost reels for Facebook and not YouTube. I think it might be TikTok. I got to look at the email again, but. Short reels, comedy reels. What the problem with that is, and I brought this up to him, comedians, and this is the difference between comedians and musicians in a lot of way when it comes to social media. Comedians often don't want to put out their best material in shorts and reels because that's burning good material that they're still using. So they intentionally want to put out not their best stuff, where musicians want to put out their best stuff because that represents what they can buy the bigger version of it. So, I'm sure I can do something with this, but will the comedian be happy with it? And they don't really have a say. I think when you do one of these things with Hulu, you give up your rights to control of what.
Yeah. I've heard from other comics though that now when it comes to reels and things like that, it's okay to put the jokes out there now.
Yes, yeah.
Because no one really cares. There's a comic that I know, young comic. He's doing pretty well, and his reels do excellent. And I was talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, don't worry about it. Put your shit out there. No one cares. People will still come to see you. It's you got to do it kind of like kind of moderate it somewhat. But yeah, it's I think I understand what you're saying, and a lot of comics do say that. But I think that attitude has definitely slowly changed now.
Yeah, it is changing, and it depends on the personality. If the guy's a control freak, and I have dealt with a couple of those control freaks who basically sent me stuff. Can you do reels? And then no, I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give that up. I don't want. Well, what? Oh, just all you want is crowd work, or you want. Robert Taylor told me that he intentionally puts out his worst material. I was like, that is so counter to a musician's mindset. Yeah,
and that's why he left you, because you poo-pooed his idea.
You say he left me.
He did. He left you.
He doesn't come on the show anymore.
That's leaving you.
Is that what it is?
I'm not. Your wife left you. No, she's just not sleeping with me anymore. She took her bags and left the house. She left you. I don't think so.
Well, I have
denial. You're in denial.
That
man.
goes into one of my found dead stories. Is kind of like that. Where I left my wife, we were separated for a year, but she decided she wanted she was thinking about getting a divorce or whatever she said to me, and I just moved out like immediately and got a house, and she was like shocked by it. And she was over at my house that night redecorating for me, cleaning the house, redecorating for me, putting curtains up and all this stuff, and then living in my house. Like, yeah, I left you, but you came with me. That doesn't. And so
maybe his wife didn't leave him when she left him, but that's an anomaly, and that doesn't count.
Yeah. So yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Robert still left you. Yeah, you just get over it. Admit it.
Robert, if you're out there, pop in. Oh, he doesn't.
Right.
You know what? I took away. I took back his access when we were expanding the team and gave it to one of these guys. So he can't pop in. Anyway,
he left you for a younger, hotter model.
No,
older, not so hot model.
Yeah, can't, man, can't.
So he left you for the money.
Can't. Yeah, maybe
he left
can't.
You for cash. No, cash. He left you for money.
I like Barry, but he definitely seems like he needs to blow his nose. Yeah, can't.
He does all over lesser comedians.
My name is Can't. Yeah.
He does blow his nose all over lesser comedians.
Yeah, you in particular.
Lesser.
You were on this Monday night, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Was Willie there? Was Willie in the?
No, I looked for all kinds of WC people. Well, because sometimes they have people who don't show their faces, but they got the initials on the side. Yeah. So when I didn't see his face, I looked for initials.
WCCS.
That's why I said I saw an MN, and I thought that was you eavesdropping, but it wasn't you.
No, I have in the past, but not recently. But I'm just curious because last time I talked to Willie, he said he had a private one-on-one with Barry Katz set up for after the Bert and Tom 5K run thing. So I'm just wondering how that went. Like, because he's not a paying customer. Maybe Barry figured that out. Hey, he's not a paying customer. I'm not doing a one-on-one with him.
Unless he paid for a one-on-one session.
So you can do those just...
Yeah, you can do that.
A la carte? You can order off the menu?
I'm pretty sure. Or buy him dinner. But I'm pretty sure unless like I said, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to speak for him because I don't know what his business model is.
I have a really strong sense that Barry would tell him exactly what I told him, and then Barry would be in the hater pile. What do you mean? you can't say that to me. You're a hater. I think Barry. I think most people who've been in the business would say exactly the same things that I say. Basically, get out there and work, refine your craft, keep getting better at what you do, and stop worrying about somebody coming along and discovering you. That could happen, but the odds of it are like you might as well play lotto all day and every day.
Or you could do both. You could do comedy where they sell lotto and buy the tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a possibility. You know what?
Hey, scratchers and punchlines, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could actually ask to be paid in Powerball tickets.
Yeah.
Or just give every person that comes to the show a scratcher.
So they going back to what we were talking about before on the reservation. They have these puff and paint nights in these weed stores.
Oh, okay. So that's like wine and paint.
Fun.
Right. But they're getting stoned, like everybody's smoking up and painting a Bob Ross picture. So I'm thinking, that would be a good gig for me to get just like solo acoustic music in the corner for a stoner night. That would be a fun gig. I would do it for just a tip bucket, but then there'd be no money in the tip bucket. They're just like roaches.
Yeah.
Those smoking painting gigs are super fun. I went to one and I thought I was going to be really artistic. Turns out I might be autistic. instead. But it was still fun.
Wait, it's not legal there, but they could have puff and paint?
Listen, here's what I don't understand. Okay, here's what I don't understand. Okay?
This is the only thing you don't understand. This is
I
it.
go to
E equals MC square.
Indianapolis. I get that. I go to it. Come on. I'm not a fucking old dude from Joe Rogan. Listen, I go to Indianapolis for shows all the time, and these shows are all advertised as smoking shows, 420 friendly shows, and I don't get that because here it's super. It's not legal by any means, but everyone advertises it. Does not matter. Does not matter. This show, I went to this show. I didn't smoke or touch any marijuana, but I had such a high from the secondhand smoke in the building that I got up on stage and for 30 seconds drooled.
Wow.
Eva
says he's got to listen to the Chad Shank Bingo episode where they find musician friends Nowhere Girl and Whiskey Man. Yeah, there was I think that was a suicide thing, right? They both committed suicide, musicians out in Arizona. I think, yeah, I can't remember the call, but Chad and Bingo, who was Stanhope's wife, Stanhope's common law wife, out and they went and found the bodies. My stories you've heard before, and they're boring to tell them again. But so I'll be on there June 7th talking about. I don't know which one of my bodies found stories that she's interested in, because I have a lot of them. You know, when you grow up where I grew up, you find bodies everywhere. It's like anything.
Stephen, are you sure that wasn't a huff and paint night instead?
No, it was very positive. Very positive. It was marijuana, but it was edibles. There was.
I'm pretty sure huffing oil paints is what really killed Bob Ross. Now, not like he was huffing it in a bag like glue, but just being around it for 35 years. Because when I've been an oil painter and an acrylic painter. When I do oil paints, I definitely get a buzz off the oil smell. And he says
you're not supposed to sniff the canvas.
No, you don't be in the same room with it. But he uses odorless thinner, and I always use odorless thinner. But the paints themselves smell. I love the way the burnt umber smells. No, seriously. I mean,
I was going to ask you what's your favorite. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color to smell?
Yeah, dark sienna or burnt umber. Both smell delicious.
I'm uncultured.
You can see how a little kid would eat them. Like, oh, that smells good.
Speaking of little kids eating, do y'all remember did y'all have those little, there's little tubes of it's like rubbery stuff that you put on the end of a straw and you blow up?
Yeah. Super elastic bubble plastic.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to get high on that in like 5th grade, 6th grade. Yeah. And that's why they stopped selling that to kids. It's basically, if you guys don't know, it was like acrylic. Yeah, that's from Huff and Paint. Is that what that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's huffing spray paint.
Fucking people, man.
Looks like he gave head to a clown.
Yeah, they're like huffing spray paint though. That's why.
Listen, you could go to mindbloom.com and get ketamine. You don't need to huff paint. That's all.
And you won't look like that. But that's what the mask is for at the ketamine, at that ketamine thing. That's what the mask is for, so the powder doesn't get all in your eyes when you huff it.
Oh, so they don't tell you that you're really not getting ketamine. You're just huffing paint. Put these on.
Well, it's ketamine, but you grind it up, you put it in a bag.
Yeah. I don't know, but in 5th grade, this plastic stuff. It was like acrylic plastic. You'd put it out on a straw, and then you'd blow through the straw, and it would make this big psychedelic thing. But then the fumes coming back were all like acrylically.
It was like an airplane glue on steroids.
Yeah.
Or like those the smelly highlighters. Those were really good back in the day.
Yeah, but this had more of a kick than that. It was like the smelly highlighters with airplane glue. And opening up a new book, just the cracking the spine of a new book. And
I love that smell.
Yeah. And and they sold it to anybody. So, elementary school kids were getting stoned on the stuff. So it didn't last long before they said, we got to outlaw this. And then the next thing they came along with were click-clacks. Click-clacks were like hard acrylic balls on a string, and you do it like this, and they'd smack together. And they're like almost like nunchucks, but just little balls. But they'd smack together, and what was happening was those would break and to go flying off, and people were dying.
They'd shatter.
Yeah. So that got outlawed next. It was trial and error. Let's come up with toys that will help kids kill themselves. And see how long we can get away.
Now, in my community, we used to have Afro picks, and we used to have the ones with the metal teeth, and they used to call them cheese cutter picks because they looked a lot like a cheese cutter, but it was just metal teeth. And they stole them from my people. They wouldn't let my people have them anymore because they could use them as weapons.
Right. Well, I could think of an easier way to kill black kids. If you really want to just kill all the black kids, you just go up in the black neighborhoods in the high traffic zone, like where there's a busy street, and you put watermelon and fried chicken right in the middle of the road.
I think it's time for the news on that note.
Is it time? Yeah, it is time.
In the news, the first story, Alex would be like, the first story. 6 black children were killed in a traffic accident in Atlanta when somebody left watermelon and fried chicken in the middle of the road.
Now have we...
info at minddogtv.com. Yeah.
Mind Dog is wonderful question.
Funeral events for Iran's president and foreign minister got underway with a procession on the streets of the northwestern city of Tabriz.
Thousands of mourners lined the streets of Tabriz, the closest large city to the site of the crash, to kick off a 3-day funeral for the 63-year-old hardline cleric who had been seen as a potential successor to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Khamenei announced 5 days of mourning for the fallen president. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Pro-Palestinian protesters continually declared U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken a war criminal as he testified during separate Senate hearings.
Blinken testified before the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Subcommittee on State, Foreign Operations and related programs regarding the Department of State's $58.8 billion budget request for fiscal year 2025. Blinken, you will be remembered as the butcher of Gaza, one man yelled. Jim Kender reporting.
Technologies such as artificial intelligence and electric vehicles have increased demand on America's power grid.
The demand is so much that members of the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources said Tuesday that the grid will need to rely on fossil fuel longer than expected and delay a transition to cleaner energy. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and 10 co-defendants pleaded not guilty Tuesday to 9 felony charges, accusing them of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election results in Arizona.
Giuliani remotely entered his plea during the arraignment hearing in Maricopa County Superior Court in Phoenix, which ordered him to pay a $10,000 bond after state officials tried to serve Giuliani for several weeks. Wade Addison reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Yeah, get over with the music, Al. Come on. I'll move it on. Come on, move along. Okay, people, I'm late for a meeting here. Jesus.
A former University of Arizona graduate student was convicted Tuesday of first-degree murder for fatally shooting a hydrology professor on campus months after he was expelled.
A Pima County Superior Court jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before reaching a verdict against Murad Dervish, 48, in the death of Thomas Meixner, who was shot 11 times near his office in October 2022. Dervish also was convicted of 5 other felony counts, including aggravated assault for a bullet that grazed a building manager, Lawrence Keller reporting.
One person on a Singapore Airlines flight died and dozens of others were injured when the plane traveling from London to Singapore encountered sudden extreme turbulence.
Flight SQ-321 from London's Heathrow Airport was diverted to Bangkok and touched down at 3:45 p.m. local time Tuesday at Suvarnabhumi Airport, the carrier said in a statement posted to its Facebook page. We can confirm that there are injuries and 1 fatality on board the Boeing 777-300ER, an earlier statement said. Liam White reporting.
After failing in several U.S. states this year, global chemical manufacturer Bayer said that it plans to amplify efforts to create a legal shield against a proliferation of lawsuits alleging it failed to warn that its popular weed killer could cause cancer.
Bayer, which disputes the cancer claims, has been hit with about 170,000 lawsuits involving its Roundup weed killer and has set aside $16 billion to settle cases. But the company contends the legal fight is not sustainable and is looking to state lawmakers for relief. Paul Gomez reporting.
It's so hot in Mexico that howler monkeys are falling dead from the trees.
At least 83 of the mid-sized primates, who are known for their roaring vocal calls, were found dead in the Gulf Coast state of Tabasco. Others were rescued by residents, including 5 that were rushed to a local veterinarian who battled to save them. They arrived in critical condition with dehydration and fever, said Dr. Sergio Valenzuela. They were as limp as rags. It was heat stroke. Kevin Sanders reporting.
That's the latest
weird
news headlines with Alan Edwards.
All right. Monkeys falling. This is not funny. Stop laughing. Monkeys falling from the trees with fever. Like there's like monkey. Is it the Alex? Monkeypox? Is it the monkeypox?
It's monkeypox. They're trying to spread monkeypox from everywhere, all into Mexico, and they're gonna immigrate and they're gonna rape us all and give us monkeypox.
I'm sorry, I can't make it to work today. I was on my way to work and I got hit with a monkey. I just fell out of the sky. I don't know, monkey. I don't know. That's a weird story. Like there's something going on, some monkey plague that's about to spread to humans, and we're all gonna die. Am I correct? Do you think I'm correct?
Well, I mean, maybe this will prevent Planet of the Apes,
or cause it.
Yeah,
we don't know what caused the dehydration. We don't know what caused the dehydration. I mean, that's
right.
It's the heat stroke, right? And heat stroke and dehydration.
Well, this is another way. If you want to kill black kids, you just put a monkey tree in their backyard and let them go, and then the monkeys will fall on the black kids, and we'll get rid of them all.
That whole sentence was horrible.
Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! If you don't mind, the corpse still has the floor.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about that sentence is that with all the things he just said in that sentence, the only people that's going to write him and would give him any grief are going to be PETA because of the monkeys. Nobody is going to care about the kids or anything else. It's like, how dare you say it about the monkeys? Monkeys have feelings too. And there you're going to be getting all the PETA.
I hope starving kids. I send 20 cents a day.
Here they come, falling from the trees. I'm sorry, it's not funny. Monkey jokes are not funny.
Yes. It's all fun and games until one falls out the tree and hits you.
Right, yeah. When you get hit by a monkey. I just don't want to say that. I hope none of our listening audience is under a monkey tree right now. If you are, get out of the way because they're falling like
cover.
Monkeys from trees. Yeah, now the war criminal thing is that it's overused. It's like the Hitler analogy. Everybody can't be Hitler. Trump is Hitler, but not everybody can be Hitler. And like everybody can't be a war criminal. Every time there's any kind of war, and it's always an American, and the war is never really an American war. Like you're a war criminal. I understand you're angry about it, but this tendency to just overuse these.
I don't think it's used enough because we don't hear about. We'll name 3 people other than Putin, Yahya Sinwar, and Netanyahu, who've been the black guy in Africa whose name I can't remember.
War criminal.
Guy. Yeah.
Reagan, Bush again, Cheney.
I'm talking about recent. I'm talking about recently. I'm saying it doesn't happen a lot.
I think it happens a lot. It's kind of like genocide. They use that word every time. And listen, maybe sometimes it's apropos, but I think if you overuse it, it's like fuck. It loses its power if you just kind of say. If all you say is fuck, 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 and it's not as powerful as if you just spare it and like fuck. Right? Well, genocide, war criminal, Milosevic. War criminal. I don't know. I'm wrong? You think I'm wrong? You disagree?
Oh, I mean, saying war criminal and being indicted by the ICC aren't the same thing, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of people who've been indicted as war criminals, not just people who are being called war criminals.
Well, Blinken wasn't indicted. He was trying to get money allocated, and then basically, well, you're a war criminal. Like, stop calling me names. Let's just, you don't want to give the money. That's one thing. And I don't. How is? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree about the use of calling people war criminals. I was just referring to the number of people who are actually indicted as war criminals.
Not enough people who obviously we've had Nuremberg, we had Milosevic. I don't know anybody else who's actually been put on like a tribunal for war crimes. Stalin, not even, right? And Stalin was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Stalin was pretty bad.
Stalin was bad and clay.
Yeah.
It all depends. You can be a terrible person, but it has to fit the narrative that's in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You can be
Don't
bad
be a dick,
and clay.
okay? Don't genocide, okay?
My trigger point yesterday was with these fucking reporters that, and I'm just so fucking sick of Republicans, man. I have to say, it's not. If you're an old school real Republican, I'm not sick of you. But anybody who's remotely in the Trump Republican Party, I got no patience left for you at all. But these reporters who have them on, ask them questions. They know the answer is going to be a bullshit question, and don't have the balls to call them on it is my new triggering thing. It's like, come on, man, just fucking reach across the table, choke them, and say, "Stop lying to me, you fucking cocksucker." But nobody's got. I'm worried about my career. Well, then don't fucking ask them. Don't have them on your show if you're just gonna let them say that shit. You guys, does it bother you at all to see that kind of stuff? It's gotta.
Well, what really bothers me is that, it broke my heart to see that Nikki Haley just decided to vote for Trump. I mean,
this is sarcasm, right? I think it smells like sarcasm. I can't tell what.
Yeah, it smells like teen sarcasm.
All right, we can get
mind blowing.
Yeah, Chris Monte's here. Chris Monte is a star of stage, television, and movies. And he will be, I'm going to look at this. I think he's at the Argyle Theater here in Babylon, New York. I think Sunday afternoon. Let me just, where the fuck are your dates here? Tour dates here. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second before I bring Argyle, Sunday, May 26th. 8 p.m. in Babylon Village. He's here now. He's probably with child, as he always is. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning. Yes, hold on 1 second.
Say you're with child.
Yes, I'm with my little star.
Now,
do we have to watch our potty mouths?
Yes. We can't.
Not really.
Because we don't.
She
want
can curse in 2 languages already, so she's okay.
Hell yeah! We don't want her first words to be any things that I can say.
Yeah. So Chris, let me introduce you to these guys. My fingers are wrong. That's G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist, and Ron Kane, who's a legitimate comedian, and Stephen the sitcom Ortiz, who's also a legitimate comedian. And this is their first time meeting you. So
nice to meet you, sir.
Awesome. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
you.
you.
Hey, your daughter, adorable, by the way.
Thank you. I'm daddy daycare during the day, so my other one's in school, and this one is just all over.
But don't you have a gig tonight in Hamilton?
I'm saying, Chris, don't say thank you to him because he actually collects pictures of young children.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, when he says that, it's not really a compliment. It's like, I have a collection.
So I'm going to cover her face.
All right. Chris,
I'm in Hamilton, New Jersey tonight, Matt. I got to go. After I pick up my first daughter from school around 2:00, I'm going to drive down. Hopefully, not in this severe thunderstorm that's coming through Nassau County right now.
Oh,
yeah, there's a major storm blowing through. It's going to head your way soon.
And I'll be heading that way because I have a show a VA show right after this broadcast this morning, going that way. So I'm going to be driving into a thunderstorm. Thanks for the heads up.
I will be at the Sharrett Winery tonight in Hamilton, New Jersey, with fellow Long Island comedian Mike Keegan.
Oh, Mike, yeah, from Mike and Hershey and Keegs, right?
From Hershey and the Keegs show. I'll be down there on about 7:00 tonight. There's a great show, and then I'll be heading towards the Atlantic City area afterwards for I got a show in Philly tomorrow, which is a not open to the public event.
You're a busy bastard, man.
Then I'm driving to Pittsfield, Massachusetts for the Berkshire Comedy Festival on Saturday with Mr. Chris Roach. We'll be up at the Barrington stage on Saturday night, and then Sunday we wind it up in
Argyle Theater. That's
in the Argyle Theater in Babylon Village.
I'm interested in that. Now you're headlining that show?
No, well, it's actually like a 4-headline show, so I'm going to headline the first half. I'm going to headline the first half of the show, and then Roach is going to headline the second half of the show.
All right, because now this is interesting. I think it's interesting for me to say. It's interesting. I ran into Rodney Dangerfield in the lobby of that theater in like 1966, 1967, somewhere around then. He wasn't Rodney, the biggest star in the world at that time.
He wasn't really Rodney until like the mid 70s when he got that character down.
Right, yeah. But my parents had known him from Ed Sullivan, and they were, he's on television. We were there to see Oliver Twist. It was a movie theater, and Rodney was there, and people were making a fuss over it because he was a bit of a local celebrity, being on Ed Sullivan and all that kind of stuff.
And he's a Long Island guy.
From Babylon.
From Babylon.
Right.
He definitely was one of my idols as a kid. I used to love my dad had a lot of Rodney Dangerfield records and stuff, so I used to listen to him when I was a little kid in the 70s, and just legend.
Yeah. Now the theater, have you seen the theater since they made it this kind of, I know there's comedy shows, then there's theatrical performances, all that. Have you seen what it's like in there to do comedy? Because I just remember it as a movie theater.
Yeah, I was actually there on New Year's Eve, this past New Year's Eve.
Who was that?
It was so I've been there quite a bit. Paul Anthony, who runs the Long Island Comedy Festival, he books a lot of the shows there, the comedy shows there. And so I headlined there this past New Year's Eve, and I was there probably about a year before that. So I've been there since they remodeled it and made it into a beautiful theater.
Very cool. I got to see it. Robert Klein, right after he invited me to go see him there. I had a gig that night. I wanted to go see him. I could have went backstage and hung with Robert Klein. I don't know if he was bullshitting me. He said, "Why don't you come up on stage and we'll do a song together?" And I was like, "You're just fucking with me."
Maybe not.
But, yeah. So I wanted to see it then. I definitely have to get there to see the theater. Hello. Now. I was looking over
dad life and comedian life. It's so strange because I'm used to sleeping until now, waking up now. Now I have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning and change diapers and feed kids.
Well, the first time you were on the show, we talked about that. I was looking over the first time you were on my show, like over 5 years ago. Your daughter was a toddler,
just born,
an infant, and we were talking about. I made a prediction that at some point your daughter and your wife would be arguing with each other in the same voice. Now your daughter's still probably a little young to have your wife's voice, but has the mother-daughter bickering started yet with your oldest?
She throws tantrums. I mean, she's going to be 5 in like 2 weeks. My little one, so she's but she definitely has my wife's attitude in certain ways, and so it's funny to me when my wife nags me, my little one nags my wife when she doesn't get what she wants, and I'm like, good, that's you right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Deal with it.
I feel that pain, man. I'm a stay-at-home dad myself during the day, and my daughters each have one half of my wife's personality. The one is carefree and an asshole and doesn't care what anyone thinks, or nothing hurts her feelings. The other one, you could look at her wrong and she'll cry for 15 minutes.
You just described this one with your first description, and my older one is the one that's a sweetheart.
Now you're not
Yeah,
quite 50, but you had started having kids.
I am, Matt. I'm gonna be 52 in July.
Wow. See, time does fly. Yeah, I thought
I
you
got
were.
a new show. I got a new show with two great comedians. I want to plug real quick because it's on the same topic. It's called Married, Single, and a Baby with
Yeah.
Joe Bobowitz and Vanessa Hollingshead. We're touring theaters with it. We're going to be on Long Island September 21st at the Madison Theater at Malloy College, and it's basically. It's a stand-up comedy show, but it's basically three different perspectives of where you're at in relationships. Whereas Joe he got married very late. He got married at like 56 years old, but he doesn't have any children. And then Vanessa was married. Now she's single and she's in her late 50s and looking for love. And then you got me, the guy who got married late and then decided also to get married late and have kids and be an old dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
that's
cool
awesome.
stuff. Did you write it? Did you write the show yourself, or
It's basically three different points of view of stand up. So it's all our own material. So you'll see one act do their relationship set on where they're at in their life, and then we just kind of the next one comes out and the next one comes out. So it's just like three different sets of stand up. But it's been well received. We've done it at a few different theaters in New Jersey and Pennsylvania so far, and we're just getting it off the ground now. So we're starting to book a lot of shows for next year.
Now, is there going to be like a follow-up show where the kids get to rebuttal what the parents are talking about? Is that in the works?
It's called Dead, Buried, and I don't know.
It's called Waiting for My Inheritance.
Where's my Dead, Buried, and Reading the Will?
Yeah,
something like that.
My little one, my little mini me, who's at school right now. She likes to put on shows and she likes to try and be funny. So I could see her definitely going into stand up.
So you're going to be 62 when, or 64 when she graduates high school. Your little one, right? Somewhere around that.
Don't remind me.
I'm just picturing myself like in that position. It's
Well,
like,
every
wow.
every time I'm changing her diaper, I'm like, pay attention. I've been doing this for Daddy in about 16 years.
It's true, man. Hey, as the only one here who's young enough to be all y'all's kid, except for maybe Ron, I think y'all are cool dads. It's okay.
Thank you.
But you're most likely to be Ron's kid to come.
I don't know. I think me and GD look a lot alike, but
but no, Ron gets around. That's what I'm saying. He just
that's true. He is a horse.
He's like Johnny Appleseed, except without the Johnny. He's Ronnie Appleseed.
Johnny,
watch where you plant those seeds.
All right, Chris, I'm going to ask you questions that comedians don't like to fucking talk about. I'm sorry saying the F-bomb. I didn't say that F-bomb, kid.
She already knows it. Matter of fact, she's
because
she knows that I watch the Mets, Jets, and Islanders and Knicks, so she hears that out of my mouth.
I know you're a big sports fan. I was going to ask you about that, but your comedy career-wise, because you started late in life, but you've had a very successful career. A lot of people on this show, especially, a lot of younger people just getting started, or people in just a couple of years, they have a tough time figuring out, because it's not always talent. It's sometimes, learning the craft and all that kind of stuff. They talk about gatekeepers and all this stuff. You started at Governors, right? If I have this correctly, with Rich Walker's class.
Rich Walker, Peter Bales, back in 1998.
Right. I'm going to be covering that next round of Stand Up University. I'm going to do like a documentary behind the scenes and maybe get involved in it. But how did you establish this career from that? Did you just start working at Govs right away? I mean, how did you? No,
you do your graduation shows and all that stuff, and then they pretty much they set you out on your own, but they give you some tips on what to do. So luckily for me, I had a good group of up-and-coming comedians around me that came out of that class that I'm friends with still today. And you start, running some shows at bars and restaurants if you can. And you go to open mics, you go into the city, and we went everywhere, man. I mean, even back then, it was a different animal on Long Island back then, because you had Governor's, Brokerage, and McGuire's, basically doing shows Thursday through Sunday, which they still do now. And then you had like Tuesday and Wednesday, you had an open mic somewhere. There was a Wednesday night, there was a show at Christopher's in Huntington. Tuesday night, there was open mics all over. Guys were running shows. I would drive out to Ridge. I would drive out to Yaphank. I would drive all the way out. And there was always an open mic at some bar or back of some restaurant where you can get stage time. But then when there wasn't any stage time, we created our own stage time. You know, we would go to places that we knew and say, hey, you know, Thursday night, can we do a show? We'll promote it for you and stuff like that. And you don't make any money in the beginning.
Yeah.
But these guys here now, these young guys that I'm looking at here, they got an advantage I didn't have. They got social media. We didn't have social media. You guys can blow up on TikTok, Instagram, you know, with videos. The problem I'm finding for my generation is I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram as well because you have to be. But the people that follow me are like between the ages of 40 and 80, right? Like most of my audiences, like tonight I'm going to go to this upscale winery. The average age of the audience is going to be 55 years old, 60 years old.
Yeah.
You know, people with money that can go out and spend high-end wine and eat a, you know, expensive meal and pay $60 for a ticket plus a bar tab. So the problem I'm finding with the generation, Matt, guys our age and up that follow, they don't like you young guys. When you put a video out there, people your age see it and they share it to 100 people, and then that person shares it to 100, and boom, 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 and that's how somebody goes viral. It just keeps getting shared. People in my generation, when they see a video on their phone, instead of sharing it, they walk over to their friend. They go, "Hey, look at this video I'm looking at right now." Instead of sharing it, they show it from their own phone. My mother-in-law does that. I'll send out. I'll make funny sketch videos, like all the sketch videos we did with Rich Walker. You know about that. You were involved in that.
Yeah.
You know, my mother-in-law watches them with all of her friends, and she's 70 years old, and she'll be like, I said to her all the time. I go, share that with all your friends. Don't just show it to them on your phone. But they don't get it. So that's the crux of guys like me trying to go viral. It's if a younger generation finds me funny and they share me. But all you guys up there, you know, this is your game, man. That's how you got to make yourself famous now. People are getting famous off of, and I'm not telling you anything new, but today it's all about, you know, going viral on social media.
So I just want to first of all, I just want to say thank you, Chris, for the compliment. But I'm 64 years old.
Wow.
You're a small screen, so I can't see.
Yeah, and Ron is so 70. Old. And Ron is 70.
That's David Tell in the middle, by the way.
So anyway, the 64 and 70-year-olds, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know, you probably feel the same thing, but you can still, if you can, but it doesn't matter how old you are, it's your audience. If you can get the young audience who's going to share you and watch you and follow you, the problem, like I said, like I'm having is I'm doing a lot of corporate shows, theater shows, casinos. And the audience is, you know, in those places is older, and they do follow me. They do come out for me, but it's not going to go viral when I put videos out there because
because that's my thing is I'm trying to appeal to a younger. I'm trying to develop a young fan base because my old fan base literally is dying off.
I
have literally gone to funerals for like 1/3 of my fan base literally has died off. I mean, I've gone to funerals and told jokes for them, and they're dead. You know, that's it.
1/3 is probably a big estimate, but I know of 50 people in the last 5 years from COVID mostly that were hardcore fans of ours that passed. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and getting old is a big part.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing an event tomorrow night at a 55 and over community, and that's generous saying 55 and over because the people are going to be an average age of like 80, 85.
So you'll be partying right up to the break of 8 o'clock.
Yeah, to the crack of the show starts at. I'm sorry if I'm out of focus here. I'm trying to clean up the mess my little one just made. But
blame it on the kid.
Yeah, it's definitely the kid. But here's the thing, you know, they're like, I'll tell you a funny joke that Paul Reiser told me, and this is like because they always ask me, oh hey, you know, we had you here last year, you got new stuff, and I go, yeah, I always have new stuff, but 9 out of 10 times you don't need new stuff. They don't know what the hell. They don't remember everything.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm playing a VA show today, and basically the people all died in the war, but they don't know they died in the war, so they're still sitting in the chair. So I could play anything, and nobody would even know what I'm playing. They don't care. It's like
a comedian gets a phone call from the agent, and the agent goes, "I got a gig in South Florida. It's $3,000," and the comedian goes, "Oh, I need a job. I got no work this month. I'll take it." And the agent goes, "Yeah, but they're going to be 100 years old and they're going to be senile and decrepit, and they might not know what the hell you're talking about." So the comedian goes, "You know what? Maybe I'll repeat my jokes." So he goes down there, he gets on stage, he tells his first joke, and he kills. They're laughing, they're clapping, and in his head he says, you know what, let me tell that joke again and see how bad these people are. He tells the same joke again, and they laugh even harder the second time. So for 1 hour, he just tells the same joke. He gets off stage, he's leaving, and some old guy walks up to him and says, hey, let me ask you something. And he says, yes, sir. And the guy goes, how do you remember all that material? Paul Reiser told me that joke.
Wow. So that's another thing I want to talk. You have a lot of those kind of connections. Paul Reiser, Kevin James. How did that happen for you? Did they see you? I mean, how did those relationships?
Kevin saw me at a roast. We were roasting Richie Minervini, the godfather of Long Island comedy. Yeah. He'll be performing at the Brokerage on Sunday, June the 2nd, along with me, Joey Cola, Chris Roach, John Ziegler for a benefit. And then he'll be performing at the Huntington Cinema Arts Center on Tuesday, June 4th. That's Richie Minervini. So we roasted him when he turned 60, probably about 14 years ago. No, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And Kevin was in the audience with his wife. And after that, he called me about a week later and asked me if I wanted to do Mall Cop 2.
Wow.
I met Paul Reiser. I opened for him at the Palace Theater in Connecticut. And then after that, I was cast on a show called Red Oaks on Amazon Prime. And Paul was the star of that show. And I did a scene with him in the episode I was in. So I'm not overly friendly with Paul where we call each other. Kevin, I will see and we will talk. But when I do see Paul, he does always remember me and he's always nice to me.
So the lesson here for the people who are just waiting to get discovered, because this is the biggest problem we have with a lot of the young comedians. They shy away from the work. Somebody's just going to discover me. The way to get discovered is to go out and work, and then those people, you run into them in common places that you work at and all that kind of stuff. So again, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but the path to success in show business is working. It's not
work hard, get all your stuff out there and just constantly be positive. Don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to work with. I know a lot of guys that are very talented, but they're very hard to get along with, and nobody wants to work with them. So be nice to people, even if you got to bite your tongue and something bothers you. Don't post negative shit on social media. Nobody wants to be, reading guys bitching about club owners and stuff like that. Don't even waste your time with that. Just focus on what you're doing, how to get better, and how to expand your audience and put more products. And like I said, in social media, you got to put videos out every day. I mean, I'm a victim of not being able to do that because I got these. And my videos that do well are when I involve the kids in them. Those videos do the best.
Right.
Now, Matt, I just want to say, you say you hate to beat a dead horse, but you beat that dead horse like 7 times a day.
Me?
Okay? It's like you beat there's some horse.
It's not a horse.
He tried to beat it, but it doesn't respond.
It's a mule. It's not a horse. You're allowed to beat. You're allowed to beat mules all day long. It's it's legal here.
It's recommended.
Now
it's the Long Island pastime.
Yeah,
this might seem trivial to some people out there who are working, but style. I have complimented you several times on you're one of the most stylish comedians working there. You really pay it, at least from what I've seen of you. You always look sharp in a sharp suit. Now, not necessarily for everybody according to style, but how important is finding your niche in that?
Yeah, I say be yourself. It's important to be yourself. What you like, what your personality calls for, what you're. I'm the kind of guy that if I'm not wearing a suit, like today's going to be a little hot. It's going to be a little humid. I'm going to wear a dress, short sleeve dress shirt, maybe a fedora, a nice pair of dress pants. But I always like to dress up for my shows and make the audience feel like, oh, this guy's, took the time to look nice for the show rather than guys that go on stage in sneakers and wrinkled t-shirts.
Yeah.
Chris, but the thing is, you just kind of could contradict yourself because you said, don't be a dick. And then you said, be yourself. So
if your character is a dick, then be your character on stage, but off stage, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What I mean is when I say be nice, I mean like when you're in the green room, when you're backstage, when you're meeting people, always be nice. But if your character's an asshole on stage, then be that guy. Yeah, by all means.
Oh, okay. Because I was concerned. I thought I was gonna have to rethink my entire plummeting career.
No, you have to rethink your entire personality.
Yes.
I get it. How many hats do you own?
Me, I own a lot of hats, man. I got cabbie hats, I got sports hats, I got fedoras. I must have at least 30 or 40 hats.
You know, I do as well. I got like 6 here that I keep on the desk at any given time. Your hat made me feel inspired, so I pulled this one out just to
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
do you have a fez, Chris?
Do I have a fez?
I asked you first. Yeah.
No. No. I have just fedoras. I have Kangol caps, and I have baseball caps.
What happens if you ever do a Shriner thing? You're gonna have to go out and buy a fez. I don't. That's terrible.
That's kind of like Richie Cunningham's dad hat, right?
Yeah.
I always see it on the Shriners commercial too. They wear that hat. I don't know if I would look good in that hat. You have one?
Oh yeah. Just in case the Shriners call me to do a corporate event, I do have one of their hats, just in case.
Well, if I do get that phone call, I'll either borrow yours or I'll just go on Amazon.
It's kind of like one size fits all, kind of.
Okay, cool.
His head is as big as a watermelon.
You think my head is big? You should see my ego.
Yeah. You at Governors in July, and we're going to have you back to talk about that because we want to help. We're on the Governors Network, by the way. We're the morning guys on Governors Network.
Yeah, July 12th at the not the little room, the Giggle Room, and July 13th we are at the Brokerage in Belmore, which is my home club because I started there.
Is that the best? My opinion is it's the best comedy club in America. Is the Brokerage? Maybe Gov doesn't like it because it's their second one in their chain.
It's all their clubs, but they actually when they bought the clubs, the regime that's there now, they bought Brokerage first, and then they got Governors in Levittown. But for me, it was always the club that gave me the most stage time when I started out. So I always kind of called that my home club, even though. The Governors in Levittown was Peter's class. That was my first time on stage at a comedy club. But the Brokerage is really more my home because I got most of my stage time when Gary Smith had it back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I love that club. And for some reason, I think it's just the perfect comedy club. The sound system is crystal clear. There's not a bad place you can sit in the house. It's a really good place to enjoy comedy. So, so you're going to be there in July, but before you come back in July,
that's my birthday weekend, by the way.
Wow, and I don't know if
let me
at this
put it
point,
on my calendar. Just a moment.
Yeah.
July 13th is my birthday, so I'm so glad to be, celebrating my birthday with my fans. It's going to be the Saturday night show at the Brokerage is going to be packed. I already got a lot of family, friends, and fans that are saying they're all coming. So it should be a sold out show.
I'd probably have a gig, or I would be there.
I know you would, buddy.
I will. But you're playing a golf event on July 1st. Now this has got me curious. Comedy at a golf event.
It's the New York State Bricklayers Union. I do it every year for them. It's not really an open to the public thing. So it's not a comedy night. They go out, they play golf. They drink, they eat, and then they come back in around 5 o'clock. And they have cocktail hour. They have a sit down dinner around 5:45, and then usually around 6:30, 6:45, they give out some awards. And then they get like maybe 25 minutes of me. I do like a little shtick at the end for them. And
I was trying to figure out how that worked. Like, are you out on the course telling jokes while they're button?
I'm always, I'm always invited to play. I don't play golf, but I'm always invited to play. But I've tried to tell them we should have, instead of doing the comedy show at the dinner when they're tired and they've been out for 9 hours, they should just put me on one hole, and I'll tell jokes to every golfer that comes there. While they're there, I'll tell them dirty jokes.
I want to come and film it because that will go viral. That will go viral.
I'd be down for that.
Now you say dirty jokes. Do you do that? I never saw you do dirty jokes. I seen you like kind of be clever and kind of push the line toward the dirty joke, but I've never seen you act.
In my stand-up act, I'm pretty PG-13. I will, there'll be F-bombs and there'll be curses and there'll be a little innuendo, but at golf events, they like dirty jokes because it's like 90%. The audience is 90% male.
Right.
So I'll tell them dirty street jokes. Like two guys go to a bar, two guys go to a whorehouse, jokes like that.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be a perfect gig for Jackie Martling. Not that I'm trying to get your gig selling for you. But
No, absolutely. Listen, I'm doing less golf outings these days than I used to on purpose because they're not easy to do, and I've been doing them for years. And it's taxing on your stress and your mind when you go back to the same audience every year, and you got to have a new. I just can't go in there and talk about my wife and kids to these guys. They don't give a shit.
They're not like the dementia patients that I'm paying for that where you could do the exact same material and
right.
Like we talked before.
Now, have you ever been doing one of those golf things? You start telling a joke to the guy, and you say like, "Okay, this guy walks into a whorehouse, and the guy goes, shh, my wife doesn't know I was there." Has that happened? He doesn't.
Once in a while, you get a wise ass like that.
Yeah, I don't get invited to golf courses. My handicap's outrageous.
That's so funny.
Very funny.
It might be true, but I don't think you have a leg to stand on with that kind of humor. What's the weirdest place you've ever had to do a show? Because I did a show. I got booked for a show for a Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. They wanted a full band in a supermarket in Hampton Bays. It was a grand opening, but it was a church community, so that people getting out of church coming to the supermarket and seeing a rock band in the corner by the pharmaceuticals and the beer. What's the weirdest place you've ever had to?
The kid was graduating from high school. He was having a backyard party, and the whole yard was here. This whole big yard, huge people, and then there was a big pool, like a 20-foot in-ground pool, maybe 30-foot in-ground pool, and then on the other side of the pool was nothing but the fence and a little bit of concrete. And he wanted me to stand all the way over there and perform across the pool to the people on the other side of the yard that were like 100 yards away from me, and there was like 20 fucking kids in the pool.
Wow.
Oh God, that's awful.
No.
Yeah. And I told the guy, I said, listen, why don't I just go stand over there where all the people are? He goes, no, I think it'll look better if you're over there. I said, all right, well, you got to get the kids out of the pool. So he goes, well, they're not going to come out of the pool, but I'll have them not swim. So 20 kids sat on one end of the pool while I performed, like, all right, man, when you're done, we want to swim.
So they stopped fucking then? Because you said they were fucking.
God.
You said they were fucking. So they stopped doing that for your set?
Yeah, they weren't fucking. I was just shooting
at. You started off. That was. See, how can I trust you now? You started.
They weren't at the age where they could do that. They were little kids.
Yeah.
So it was the worst gig of my life.
Literalist.
That was the worst gig. So I don't do backyard parties anymore ever since that.
Good for you. I mean, there comes a point where you have to set a standard.
You got to say no.
Work that you will take and work that you won't take. Unfortunately, I never got to that point. So if anybody wants to hire me for like a, I don't know, bathroom, men's room attendant gig today where I tell
Well, I had somebody offer me a gig a couple of years ago, right after the pandemic was starting to end. They said, oh, I got a job for you. What is it? There's a new building that opened up in Manhattan, and it's got all new residents in it, and they're having a special like luncheon and free food for them, and we want to put you in the elevator and you tell people jokes as they go up to their floors.
Now, do you have enough time?
The agent goes, how much would you want for something like that? I go, how long do I got to be there? Oh, you got to probably do like 2 hours. I said, I want like $5,000. He's like, oh, they're not going to pay that. I go, well, I ain't doing that shit.
I was going to ask you, do you like start the joke and then do the setup on the way up? They leave when they come back. Then you give them a punchline on the way down. I mean, is it long enough?
Depends how long the joke is, right?
Yeah,
and how many floors they're going.
Yeah, because you may not be able to finish the joke. You have to say like, and when you come back and go down, I'll tell you the punchline. Just remind me where I was.
Exactly.
Yeah. So coming back to, because we only have a couple minutes here and we're going to have to say goodbye to Govs. This married, what's it called again?
Married, Single, and a Baby. We're hoping to get it in the Governor's Comedy Clubs as well. I know they do some shows at the Smithtown Theater in Suffolk, so I'm hoping we can get together and get the show booked out there for 2025.
Yeah, there's a Suffolk Theater out here too. There's new theater. Have you tried Sticks and Stones? Have you been out to Sticks and Stones? Because
I've been at the Suffolk Theater, the one in Riverhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I don't know if they changed the name of it, but it was a Suffolk Theater. I did some shows.
It's still at.
Yeah, years ago we had Shut Up, Sit Down, and Eat. It was a play that I was a part of that I co-wrote with a bunch of comedians, and we did it at the Suffolk Theater for I think it was Memorial Day weekend back in like 2016 or whatever it was. So I've been out there before, and the new booker of events out there actually reached out to me because they were having a new grand opening of it last fall or something, and they wanted me to come out and do comedy, and it just didn't work out that my schedule wasn't open, but I'm going to reach back out to them and maybe we can get that show out there
It's
too.
a good place. And then there's the Sticks and Stones, which is the Hamptons Comedy Festival. It's in Southampton, Sticks and Stones, which is theater-like. It's a comedy club, but it's kind of set up like a theater. They have the gradient seating and all that kind of,
They booked me in 2022, in the summer of 2022. They booked me on like 3 shows out there, and then like a week before the shows, they canceled them all. So I don't know what happened at that place.
I think she didn't open by that time. She just and finally.
I think they weren't open yet. They thought they were projecting they would be open, and then but they were very professional, and they sent me 75% of my pay for the cancellation. So I was very happy with that.
Very cool. I like to get paid 3/4 of what I'm worth for
and not work.
Yeah, to never have to leave my house. Let's do that. I want to just book
it's called
all
unemployment. Not 60%. Never mind.
All right. Straighten me out about, before I let you go here, the Long Island Comedy Festival, because I am confused. I see it going on. It feels like it's a never-ending thing and not in one place. It's all, Long Island's not like Levittown. It's a very big place. It's 100 miles long and 35.
The gist of it is it used to be like, I think, like a little bit in August, a couple of weeks in August, and they would do different theaters, Theater 3, the Argyle, a couple theaters out in Suffolk. I'm trying to think of the names of my kid. They escape me right now. Paul Anthony, who I'm working with at the Berkshire Comedy Festival this Saturday, he runs the Long Island Comedy Festival. And then throughout the year, he'll just book a couple of shows at different venues, and he'll have it produced under the Long Island Comedy Festival name because he owns the company.
Yeah.
But basically, the actual festival, it's not a festival where you get judged. It's not a festival where you can, where you get a lot of agents and industry to come out and see it. It's just basically a festival for Long Island comedy fans to come out and see, 5 headliners on a show, all doing 20 minutes each or whatever. So, So they basically, if you go on their website, you'll see usually in the summer they string a bunch of dates together in a 10-day or 14-day period. But it's basically just a company name.
Yeah, it's because it's so confusing because I am I'm very tuned into a lot of festivals around the country, and Altercation is one we're still waiting on here. Whether we're going to do a live podcast for Altercation in Austin, Texas. But there are all these. It doesn't seem like those kind of things where everybody is in town for that one event. It just seems like comedy shows that are on Long Island that are they're calling it a festival. It kind of
that's basically what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with this stuff. We hope you sell out. Do you know if Argyle sold out already or not?
I don't know. Listen, the weather, it's Memorial Day weekend. The weather is calling for maybe rain tomorrow, and then Sunday being the nicest day.
No.
So people may do. Well, people do. I know people do their barbecuing on Memorial Day on that Sunday usually a lot because a lot of people are off Monday. I always do the Monday because I'm working usually through the weekend. So I don't know how the ticket sales are, but hopefully it'll usually get a good turnout anyway, no matter what.
You panicked me there because I have an outdoor gig in Lindenhurst at Catch tomorrow night, and you said it might rain tomorrow. I just checked. No, it's not going to rain tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Then Saturday might get some rain. Sunday might be a nicer day of the weekend, something like that.
All right. So now I can come down from a heart attack. Anyway.
But anyway, since we're with Governors, the most important show that I'm promoting, and I want to be sold out for 2 nights, is July 12th and 13th because a lot of my fans are in the general Nassau County area and some in Queens, and they come to those 2 clubs the most.
Well, you'll be back before then.
I'll be back that week, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and we'll try.
Did you know that's your birthday, July 13th?
That's my birthday.
Did you know that?
No, I knew that. We all knew
that.
It's
on my calendar. I know that.
You're free to disregard any of and all of it. Anyway,
it's all good.
Thanks, Chris. Have a great day and good luck on all the gigs, but especially Sunday at Argyle.
Oh yeah, much luck to all you guys. Much success, and it's great hanging with you. And thanks for having me, Matt.
See you later. Bye for now.
Pleasure meeting you, Chris. Thanks.
Bye. Chris Monty and daughter. Let me change the layout here. Oh, Steven's stealing my spot. and Ron is stealing his spot, and this guy.
Now we have a sign spot.
It's like a Brady Bunch thing over here. Anyway, Chris, a good guy, man, and you know what?
He's all right. He's all right. You know, he wears those funny hats and stuff.
His success is not like a mystery. Hard work. He's talented. He's funny, but he's got what got him to where he is. And because if you look at his calendar, he's like working all the time. And the only way to get there is to get out and hustle. I mean, I know it's a dead mule, but there's only one real tried and true, guaranteed way to kind of promote yourself, and that's by promoting yourself.
Through bribery.
I agree, man. It's sad that people want a shortcut, because what do you think you're gonna do when you get that big break when you have nothing to work on?
That's true.
You bribe people.
So he is a graduate of Stand Up University, 1998. That's how long ago that was. That's 26 years ago.
Dang, I was 7.
Yeah. But I'm going to be covering that in the June semester, whatever they're calling it. I'm excited, but I'm also a little nervous about how I'm covering it. They want me to do some of the stuff. I was just planning on doing backstage stuff and testimonials and getting the comedian's perspective. I have no desire to be trained as a stand-up comedian at 65 years old. I'll be this summer. So no, but I'm a little nervous about what to expect. He knows I did want to pick his brain on what I should expect. Of course, 26 years ago, it's probably changed a lot. Anyway, do we have other stuff guys want to get to? I know we.
Goodbye, Gubs. No.
Oh yeah, I gotta say goodbye, Gubs.